Welcome to Watch Mojo, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 10 movies that bombed so hard they destroyed a franchise.
Fantastic Las Vegas!
Dad, Las Vegas, there's nothing to do there.
For this list, we'll be looking at the films that failed so spectacularly that they put their entire series in jeopardy. What movie made you check out of a franchise? Sound off in the comments below. Number 10, Fantastic Beasts: The Secrets of Dumbledore. The only secret worth uncovering here is how things went so wrong. Despite its loads of potential, this spin-off series never enchanted audiences the way the mainline Harry Potter films did.
Specto Patronum!
Then, plagued by waning quality and behind-the-scenes controversies, The Secrets of Dumbledore became the lowest-grossing Wizarding World film to date.
Don't do anything I wouldn't do. You believe this place? They got pint-sized little witches and wizards running around here.
You don't say.
Even worse, it took the crown from the previous Fantastic Beasts film. There's no spell in all of Hogwarts to make that trend look good. After this disastrous theatrical run, Warner Brothers Discovery quietly announced that they weren't in the process of developing any more Wizarding World films. In layman's terms, that means this proposed 5-part saga will end as a disappointing trilogy.
What's on your mind, Baker boy?
Oh, jeez. Should be ashamed of yourselves.
Number 9, Vegas Vacation. The Griswold family's 4th trip marked a lot of firsts for the franchise.
This is gonna be the greatest vacation ever.
It was the first to drop the National Lampoon subtitle, the first made without any credit given to John Hughes, and the first to be outright rejected by both fans and critics. While Vegas Vacation is far from the series' only disappointing sequel, it has the honor of being both the lowest grossing and the worst reviewed of the bunch.
I can't believe it. I've lost $300 in 15 minutes?
The clear lack of audience interest slammed the brakes on any more Griswold family vacations for almost 20 years. And even then, Chevy Chase's Clark has still yet to get back behind the wheel.
That's it, Clark. Show 'em who's boss. It's people like you come here and blow the family nest egg that built this town, not this pretty boy.
Number 8, Dark Phoenix. There are a lot of glaring, fundamental issues with this film.
You can control it. You can do anything you set your mind to.
So show me. Walk to me.
But the biggest one is that it failed to make a profit at the box office. Reportedly, Dark Phoenix lost around $130 million, going down as one of the biggest flops in cinematic history. It's even more embarrassing because the studio formerly known as 20th Century Fox had hoped Dark Phoenix would launch a whole new series of Xmen films.
Follow me into your future.
Unfortunately, all those plans crashed and burned right alongside the movie's financial reports. Now that Disney's acquired the rights to the X-Men, odds are that this Phoenix will never rise from the ashes again. And that's probably for the best.
She's gone.
Number 7, Star Trek Nemesis. For decades, the Star Trek films lived long and prospered.
Live long and prosper.
But in 2002, the franchise found itself in an asteroid field of bad reviews. You can find any number of reasons for Nemesis' failure, from its poor release window to general Star Trek fatigue. But either way, the fact of the matter is that the next generation went out with a whimper.
That is the regulation, sir. Starfleet Code, Section 12, Paragraph
Mr. Data?
4. Sir?
Shut up.
Yes, sir.
Paramount Pictures nixed any more films with this cast and instead opted for a hard reboot in 2009. The only solace is that Patrick Stewart later returned to Picard as the star of his very own show. But something tells us he won't be steering the Enterprise to the big screen anytime soon.
You don't trust me. I have no reason to.
Number 6, Fantastic Four. It's kind of impressive to kill a franchise before it even gets started. In fact, it could be argued that this movie was DOA even earlier than that.
You want to know how I survived? That place kept me alive.
Prior to release, Fantastic Four suffered a never-ending media storm of scandals, controversies, and rumors, each one pointing to an incredibly rough work environment. Things were so bad that allegedly star Miles Teller almost got into a fist fight with director Josh Trank.
Always so smug, thinking you were smarter than me.
Given all that, it's no surprise the film is a complete mess in every sense of the word. And it has the bad box office to prove it. The only mercy is that Fantastic Four's already dated sequel was quickly yanked off the schedule.
Which reminds me, I think that the four of us should have a name.
Why would we need a name?
Number 5, Son of the Mask. This ill-advised sequel is the textbook example of how not to continue a franchise. The success of the original The Mask wasn't the green face covering. It was Jim Carrey's unparalleled comedic timing.
Ooh, somebody stop me!
Without him, this soulless follow-up lost all of its charm and most of its audience too. Not only did Son of the Mask fail to outgross its predecessor, it couldn't even make back its own budget.
We knew where the great ones came from. We'd go there every day, right?
Although that's to be expected from a film that's widely considered one of the worst of the 2000s. Unless Jim Carrey decides to put on the mask again, odds are this film series will tap out at 2.
What do you think about that, Double A? Little brother or sister? How does that sound?
Number 4, Terminator Dark Fate. On paper, the cinematic return of Sarah Connor in T-800 should have been a slam dunk. While a string of poorly received sequels had seriously hurt the brand's reputation, Dark Fate promised to be a return to form for Terminator. And surprisingly, it actually was. Kinda. The reviews weren't glowing by any means, but they were a marked improvement over the other modern entries.
Might as well be wearing a tracking bracelet.
When I'm ready to kill that thing, then I'll let it know where we are.
Unfortunately, Terminator fans had been burned one too many times. They failed to show up to the theaters. And Dark Fate wrote off losses north of $120 million. In the end, all this reboot did was say hasta la vista, baby, to any chance of more Terminator films, until Hollywood runs out of ideas again.
You either stop a Terminator in the first few minutes, or you're dead.
Number 3, the Divergent series, Allegiant. For anyone keeping track, there are 3 Divergent films, each named after one of the 3 books.
It all works. Everyone knows where they belong. Except for me.
But that's not actually the full story. Despite the series diminishing returns domestically, the film's producers decided to split the adaptation of the final novel into 2 parts. It resulted in a deeply unsatisfying third entry that no one was happy with, least of all the studio's wallets.
Of course, yes. The people at Erudite really made a mess of things, but I don't want you to worry about that.
Afterward, the 4th film was reimagined as a TV special, and then later scrapped entirely. It's a fate so embarrassing it's almost laughable. No one knows if a fully adapted Allegiant film would have done better, but at least the series would have gotten an ending.
Janine is dead! Let's not keep her spirit alive.
Number 2, The Mummy. Tom Cruise is one of the few bankable stars left in Hollywood, and even he couldn't sell these racks.
The ancient Egyptians believed it weakened evil spirits.
Well, now we know better. Stuff will kill you.
His version of The Mummy was immediately buried beneath criticisms for its plot, tone, and acting. The poor audience feedback and disappointing box office returns ruined any chance of this monster coming out of his tomb for a sequel.
This is not a tomb. It's a prison.
And yet that's not even the end of The Mummy's failures. It was heavily promoted as the starting point of a whole cinematic universe of classic monster flicks. So when The Mummy bombed, it didn't just ruin its own series prospects, it took down an entire potential franchise with it.
But mainly just amazed at your ability to mimic all the qualities of genuine human intimacy, if only for 15 seconds.
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications. Number 1, Batman and Robin. It's no exaggeration to say that this take on The Dark Knight was designed specifically to build a film series.
There's something about an anatomically correct rubber suit that puts fire in a girl's lips.
With more characters, more gadgets, and more merchandising potential, distributor Warner Brothers did everything they could to turn Batman and Robin into a smash hit. Well, everything except make a good movie.
At 30,000 feet, your heart will freeze and beat no more.
That proved to be a grave error, and to this day, Batman and Robin is infamously regarded as one of the very worst films ever made. The downright toxic critical reception immediately silenced any talks for a follow-up, let alone the in-development Robin spin-off. It took several years and a reboot for Batman's legacy to recover, but forgetting the bat nipples is a different story.
I want a car. Chicks dig the car.
This is why Superman works alone.
Did you enjoy this video? Check out these other clips from WatchMojo, and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.